Oh my god. I've just been talking nonstop. You probably don't want to watch me drink stuff. Like, why don't you just edit this stuff out? Because I'm lazy. That's why. If you'll notice, I use a non-branded cup because no one pays me to advertise for them. Even though I'm going to show you a bunch of cool merchandise I already got, but this space is available for rent if you would like me to advertise you. Business at carpanda.com. Y'all are like, what is this asshole talking about? So let's get into some of the cool things I got. We'll start with the first thing. Let me take these corner braces out. They have a purpose, but this isn't something I got at the convention. Corner braces are very handy, and I'll explain why I needed them in a second. But first off, make cosplay great again. It was one of the first things Friday morning. Brent Fairchild, who's a good friend of mine, I've got to know him through conventions as well. Amazing artist. He did one of my Ghostbuster drawings on the wall of me as a Ghostbuster. Not on this wall, but in my, I call it my museum, where I've got all my gear, all my fan arts and things like that, and other merchandise that I bought. So if you ever come to the house, you'll have to come check it out. But Brent hands me this hat, and he's like, "Here you go, man." I'm like, oh, Are you sure this is for me?" He's like, "I couldn't think of anybody better to wear it. I knew you'd have the guts to wear it around." And that was the thing, as I'm wearing this around, I'm getting dirty looks from people because they know what it probably is going to say, and they probably think I'm just some random asshole walking around, just like I'm super duper Trump. And then once people kind of know it, you'd see that smile come like, "Oh, you got me, you son of a bitch. Well played." So yeah, I love this hat. Make cosplay great again. So thank you, Brent. And plus, it's a flex fit, which I love. I've started getting back into where I will actually attempt to wear snapbacks, but I'm not a fan of snapbacks as a whole. But I'm warming up again slowly but surely. But flex fits, I loves them. I loves them. Let's see, another cool surprise. Bethany, Bethany Woods. This is a different Bethany, not the one I talked about in the last video. I got to know Bethany through Conzo. Actually, she was one of the first people I met, and I don't even know if it was on through cons. I think it was through some other social media or something. I'm trying to remember exactly how me and Bethany met. But anyway, we met, and she's one of the first people I met moving here. There's only a handful of people that when I think about, like when I first got here, that really stand out. And she's one of them. Her and her husband Rick are just great people, and they're good friends of ours. And anytime that I've done anything, they have been so supportive. And Bethany, I don't know if you can see this. Maybe I'll put a video or a picture of it up in the video. But she got me this Space Jam pen. Hopefully it shows up. And it's just the bottle of Michael's secret stuff. So all day Sunday, I've got a pull down zipper on my flight suit, and I put it right down on that piece of fabric that hangs down with it. And that's probably where it's going to stay. As you know, I love Space Jam. Like, I'm kind of obsessed with Space Jam. It's like Ghostbusters Space Jam. You know, that's like the next one. So, Bethany, thank you so much for that. That meant a lot. It really did. Like, it made me smile so big. And thank you again for introducing me to so many of your friends. Man, you've got some amazing people in your life, and I'm just glad I've gotten to know them quite a bit. We'll move on a little bit now. Next up, another great person I met through conventions and things. Trenton gave me this really cool bottle cap that's got him on it. Look at that. Fantastic. He loves Fallout, and Trenton's just a great dude. He really is. Always has nothing but nice things to say. Always has a great hug for me. And thank you, man. I love this. I love this bottle cap a lot. Another one, this was Mike Steinmetz brought it to me. It's my brother right there. We all kind of look out for each other on things. Obviously, I don't live in the Kansas City area. I live in Warrensburg, which is about an hour away, so I don't have all the luxuries of things like Target and Toys R Us and pretty much anything besides Walmart. So when certain things come out, I can't always get them. But they came out with some new action figures this year. The Diamond Select folks did, and they were Toys R Us exclusives. There was a Vigo the Carpathian from Ghostbusters 2. There was the Ray where he's got the Santa hat on, which I'm probably going to get that one down the road too, and he's got the blue suit on. But there was one that I had to have, and so Mike was kind enough to get it for me and gift it to me. He got it at Toys R Us, obviously, because it's a Toys R Us exclusive. But it's the geared up Louis Tully. And Louis Tully is probably my overall favorite character in the Ghostbusters. He's not the most confident guy in the world, but he's smart. He has great intentions. He's got kind of a charisma about him as well that maybe people wouldn't normally recognize, but people are drawn to him. People like him for one reason or another. As we see in the movie, people are always trying to help him out in some way, shape, or form. Even like Dana and stuff. Like she didn't really want to blow him off, but she wasn't sure if she's going to be able to come by later to his party. And Lewis is just Lewis. He just wanted to be one of the guys, I think, and I think I can kind of relate to that. I always just kind of wanted to be one of the Ghostbusters, or there's always those little groups of people maybe you just wanted to be a part of that you weren't as much, and so I was always kind of drawn to Lewis, and obviously he ends up hooking up with Janine too, so that's not bad. I'm just saying, Janine's a total babe. I don't care what anybody says. And my favorite part, and that's why I had to have this one, the geared up part. Spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it, but towards the end of Ghostbusters 2, when things are looking pretty bleak, the boys are down, Vigo's just wrecking shop. There's this giant dome of slime over where they're at, and it's bad. Something's got to be done. They're worried about the fellas, and mild-mannered Louis Tully here. Not normally one to step up like that. Like I said, he's kind of a nerdier guy. He kind of stands back, nervous, but he knows he has to do something. He's just got to do something. So he grabs the flight suit. I'm just admiring it as I look at it because he's such a great character now, and I love what they do with him in the second movie. But he grabs Egon Spengler's spare suit, and he puts or one of the different color ones maybe. I'm not sure how exactly which suit it is, but he puts on a pack, and he's not sure how he's going to get there. He takes a damn bus, and who's driving the bus? Slimer. But he's going to help in some way. He knows he has to do something. And that's what I love about Lewis. And that's where I've been so many times. There's been so many times where I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. But by God, I got to do something. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to figure it out when I get there. But I have to do something. And so I had to have this. I had to have this. And as we saw in the film, you see him. He thinks he saved the day. And the crowd thinks he saved the day. And part of me believes he did. Because if we really look back at that movie, I know I'm going on a tangent, but it's important. It tells the story. I think Lewis totally helped save the day because we needed a lot of positive energy in that movie. That's why they had the Lady Liberty coming through and they had the crowd getting involved. They needed that positive energy. And I think when they saw that Lewis Tully was stepping up and doing what he could to help out and try to make a difference, that helped inspire the rest of the crowd. I don't know if that was intended. I don't know if I'm reading into it, but that's what I saw. And I think obviously the crowd was already getting there, but that extra bit of energy that they needed to help defeat that evil, I honestly think that came from Lewis Tully. They were inspired by what he was doing and how he stepped up with all his gear on, or Egon Spengler's gear, who we all know Egon had the best pack. Yeah, Lewis Tully saved the day. You can't tell me otherwise. So let me put this down real quick. And we're just going to keep on moseying on here. Next up, it wasn't really, I guess it was a gift. But I went to Waffle House to eat because I was starving. And the guy gave me a hat. So, of course, I rocked the hell out of it. Because, obviously, I'm the world's biggest, well, probably not the world's biggest Waffle House fan. But I sure do love me some Waffle House. So I got my usual, my Philly cheesesteak hash brown bowl. Put some gravy on it, and of course you better add it. They always ask me, you want the onions? Of course I want the onions. I'm not some kind of evil heathen. I need good food. So, yeah, that was phenomenal. Of course I got my cherry Coke, too. The next day, well, actually Sunday, I should say. It doesn't matter what day I got any of this stuff on, I guess. But this is where these come into play, and how I'm going to display it. I had to go back, as you saw in the last video, I met Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and I had to go back and see him again because I needed an autograph, because he had a very unique item. As you know, he used to come out with his 2x4s. Obviously, this is a smaller version. But he was autographing 2x4s at his booth. So, again, reasonable price. This cost me $20. I'm very good with that. I know some of you are going, it's a piece of wood from Home Depot with a permanent mark on it. No, it's not. Okay? It says 2 Panda. Good luck. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Hall of Fame, 2011 with the ho! So, that was cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this on the walls. We're going to use those corner brackets and just kind of drill some holes in the bottom so they can flush mount, and you can just kind of see it sitting there on the wall. Very happy to have that. I'm actually going to put that next to my some of my other wrestling stuff. I'm going to be rearranging things and try to organize it a bit. Right now I've got wrestling prints and other wrestling memorabilia here, there, and everywhere. So I'm gonna try to put it all together. So thank you, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Like he's such a great dude. Just and his paws are massive. When he put his hands around my throat in that picture, just huge. And when there's one where he got his thumb, he told me to put the thumb out with him, and just I mean, this would look like a sippy cup in his hand. You know, I mean, it's just huge, huge hands. But now, the most important stuff. I had no idea because so many vendors, so much stuff going on at the convention. I missed so much. There are so many friends that I had there that were vending that I never even saw this weekend, just from running around with all the craziness. But I'm finally kind of sitting down for a minute on the concrete floor because there's just not a lot of seating in there, and you learn to appreciate sitting on the concrete floor. But Guy and Rachel come to the back where I'm kind of hiding out at. We all were kind of hiding out there for a little while. So we kind of eat real quick and just get away. And I noticed Guy has some really cool prints, or not even prints, but one is some fan art. Not, God, I can't even talk. Forgive me, I'm not caffeinated fully, but some sketch art and a animation cell from He-Man or was it She-Ra? Forgive me, Guy. Oh my God, still waking up. But some really cool animation cells. I digress. So I'm like, where the heck did you get those? And Guy's like, oh my God. There's a guy over here. He's got stuff for days. They've got Ghostbuster stuff. And I'm like, excuse me? So Rachel and Guy finished eating their stuff, and they're like, all right, we're taking you over there. So we all walk over there, and I get there, and they were not lying to me. Really cool story, apparently. I found out last night. Thank you to Amy for sharing this with me. I guess she chatted him up and found this out. But this guy had books, and like when I pull up, guy's like, hey, there's a book of Ghostbusters, and there's a box over here of Ghostbusters. And then the guy was like, oh, and by the way, I got another box of Ghostbusters down here if you want to look. So I'm like, what the hell's happening? They had the old Back to the Future cartoon, He-Man, She-Ra. I mean, nostalgia for days. 80s and early 90s, mostly 80s stuff. Just tons and tons of sales. But apparently, I guess the guys that were there selling the stuff, I guess their parents in the 90s traded off some random stocks to somebody and took in all these cells. And it was a very vague pricing tier. It said like animation cells 50 to 175. So I'm like, oh man, I'm not sure how I feel about that price point because I know what I'm looking for. I know he's going to try to gouge me because I wanted to get all four of the guys in a single cell. That's not always the easiest to do. I've got another set of cells on the wall right now that's got Janine and Slimer on it. That's the only cells I have from Real Ghostbusters. And I paid a decent price. I think I paid $40 for those. They're great cells. They're in great shape. But I knew what I paid for those. And I thought those were a good price at the time. So I'm sitting there thinking like, oh man, if I want all four of these guys, it's going to cost me. So I'm kind of going through them, and I'm starting to kind of settle in my brain even, which I hate when I do that. And I'm like, well, that has all four of them. They're kind of there, but it was not the best drawn stuff necessarily, or you could tell it was kind of like more of an action shot where it was in a sequence real quick, so it just wasn't all well put together. And I'm just like, oh, man. About that time, I saw one that I kind of liked, but a couple more of my friends come up. One was dressed like a Ghostbuster, one was dressed like Stay Puft. So I'm talking to them, and at the same time, I'm thinking like, oh, crap. I'm already dressed as a Ghostbuster, so I'm a mark. Now I'm talking to more Ghostbusters, and they're talking to me about stuff, so you know I'm really into Ghostbusters. I'm thinking this guy's going to be like, I can raise the prices on this guy. So once I settle back into looking through them, I'm looking, and I come across... Well, I'll come to this one in a second. Actually, you know what? Screw it. It doesn't matter what order I go in, right? I come across this one, and it had to be mine. It's got the library featured in the background. It's got all four Ghostbusters perfectly drawn. It's got a certificate of authenticity on the back, and I just had to have it. And this face Egon's making. Hopefully you can get it all in there. If not, I'll make sure to put it up on there in one of the little stills that I do. When I saw Egon like this, like I was like, that's coming home with me. I have to have that. And I knew the guy was going to be like, oh yeah, 175. So I was like, here we go. So I go up to the guy, I was like, hey man, it's Sunday. What can you do for me? It's the last day of the con. Can you do anything for me? And he's looking at it. He's like, well, you know it's got all four of the guys in it, right? I'm like, yeah, I sure do. Probably no better than anybody on this floor what this is going to cost me. And the guy gave me a price that was way, way less than I was expecting. I would just tell you, he told me $80, and I still was kind of like, mm-hmm. But I had to have it, so I was kind of like, he's like, all right, tell you what, man, here's what I'm gonna do. And so I thought it was gonna be, so I thought he was gonna be like, if you give me more money, I'll give you this. But he's like, you know what? He pulls out another box out of nowhere. He's like, go through there, pick out a sketch, and it's yours as well. I was like, for $80, I'll get these cells, because there's like 5 cells in this that all combine, because each one of them is drawn on their own, plus the background art. So he gives me all these, plus this sketch, which you can't see as well because it's just a hand sketch. All of it's matted, by the way. I did buy the frames, which, shout outs to Walmart. If you don't know, these 11 by 14 frames at Walmart, I think, are $2.97. I bought 3 frames and this t-shirt at Walmart this morning for $12. Yeah, so get to Walmart and get these. They're with all the other picture frames. They have this is actual glass. They're low profile. They're fantastic. This also came with a certificate of authenticity. So, yeah, I'm bragging right now. $80 for legit real Ghostbusters animation cells and a sketch that also features. It doesn't have Winston in it, but it's got 3 of them, and I'm not sure who this lady is. I can't remember which. I'm about to go through my collection and see exactly which episode and stuff it's from. There's not a lot of information on them, but yeah, like who would have thought? Like when I saw these, I was like, they have to go on the wall. So I'm so stoked on these. So again, thank you, Guy and Rachel. That was just serendipity right there, right place, right time. Because had I not been back there, they probably would have just had them in their bags and no one would have thought anything about it. So. That's the cool stuff I got this weekend. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, comment. And until next time, I'm Panda. And yeah, keep getting cool stuff and collecting your history. That's what I'm doing. I'm recollecting stuff that I loved as a child because I love still seeing it. It makes me smile. And I'm not going to put these up on the wall, I think. Until next time.